What's going on? Welcome to the live. Did you know that if you got a criminal background, you're not exactly allowed to just waltz into Canada? Canada, America's Mountie hat. Mountie hat. What kind of hats do Canadians wear? The Ruskin hat. A beaver. America's beaver pelt hat. But yeah, if you got a criminal record, you need special permissions. And if you're a felon, there's a lot of paperwork you got to do to get Canada to allow you to permit you to enter their country. Now, do you think that applies to the American president? I know he's talking tough saying, Canada, we need you to put 1 billion Mounties, horse mouth to horse ass, right at the border. They're just going to line up the horses. They're all going to be horse face to horse butt. And it's going to form a horse wall. Tarush, what's up? What's up, Alma? So Trump wants Canada to increase their border security. Do you think that means that they're going to give Trump a hard time if he tries flying in Con Air to Canada? Is he not going to be able to make any special trips to Canada because he's a felon? And I link down below, if you have a criminal record and you're trying to look into going into Canada, how you can get permissions. Lots of paperwork. They say it take months in advance. I wonder if that applies to Trump. And I wonder if Trump's hard line and art of the deal, which is so funny because Trump's deals that he worked out with these other countries were things that were already in play. So like he got nothing. And the most hilarious part is when he was talking about these deals, these trade deals we cut with Mexico and Canada, some say they're the worst ever. It's like, Trump, you did them in 2017, you moron. He's cacaing on his own skibbity. What's up? He's cacaing on his own deals. That's how bad he is and how old he is. He doesn't even remember. Like, he's the one that did the deals he's now pooping on. But I thought it was interesting with all this hubbub about Canada. I suddenly remembered, only because in my youth, maybe, allegedly, there was some criminal activity. Again, sometimes criminal activity is only because the laws are unjust. Remember, at one point, cannabis was a crime. Now you're just a legal adult or a patient. In most states, sorry for you states caught in the 1950s, caught in the old Nixon-Reagan drug wars. Sorry about it. Cannabis ain't legal where you're at. That's stupid. I don't understand how you could cross a line in the same country and go from criminal to doctor's patient, but whatever, here we are. Skibbity! Where's the video of you reacting to all the Skibbity toilet episodes? Oh my Jesus, it would just be me going, what the fuck is this? JM Studios. Good to see you, by the way. If I had to react to Skibbity Toilet, I would just be like, who thought of this? Was it a pervert? Did this originate from a pervert? Because when I first saw Skibbity Toilet, just to sidebar for a second, just foul. I don't immediately recall, but that's not to say I don't remember you. But the first time I saw Skibbity Toilet, I thought this came out of the mind of a pervert. Because there's no sane mind that's like, you know what my cartoon character is going to be? A head coming out of a toilet. I thought of that weird, demented case I think I seen on YouTube of the guy who snuck into like some women's bathroom in like the septic tank part so he could spy on girls, and he died. He died in there. In Japan or something, because their bathrooms are different. You could get into the septic tank. No, Skibbity Toilet is not a meme anymore these days. There's no song Skibbity Dop. Yep. No, Skibbity is like a real thing. Watch the Minecraft movie's coming out this year. I'm sure there's going to be a Skibbity movie featuring The Rock as Skibbity himself, or whatever they are. I don't know. Oh, sorry. Hold on. The sun. You saved me from time in the hole, fam. I appreciate you. No, come on. I definitely didn't save you from time in the hole. It's so gross. Total pervert behavior. Oh my. Just make a video reacting. YouTube doesn't like haters. I'm not hating on it. I just like JM, you got to admit, we'll get back to Canada and criminals not needing special permissions, but they're not going to do that with Trump. But JM, let's talk real about Skibbity for a second. The main thing in Skibbity Toilet is a guy's head coming out of a toilet. If that, like, I was like, no kid could potty train, no little kid could potty train if they seen that. Like, you'd be terrified that some guy's head is gonna, like, a Skibbity. Because, listen, back when I was growing up, we didn't have Skibbity Toilet. We had this thing called the Ghoulies. It's a 80s movie with little Muppet puppet things. And the Ghoulies terrified me because at one point the Ghoulies came out of the toilet. So I did not want to sit on the toilet because I thought a Ghoulie was coming to get me. They were like little gremlin, Cabbage Patch gremlin dolls. Just try to react to it. Just try. All right. I'll try. Listen, I can't promise anything, but I think that's a funny idea, JM. But really, I would just be like, who came up with this? Because think about the two sides. If you don't know, Skibbity Toilet is this thing that kids fucking love. My son loves this stuff. I don't get it. But one side is a toilet with a guy's head coming out of the toilet, and the other side is called cameramen. If that's not total pervert bounds right there, like, I hate to... Maybe you've never considered this, but my first thought was like, one team films people, the other team is a guy's head coming out of a toilet. This is all just like Pervert Island. Wherever this takes place is Pervert Island. The guy who created Skibbity Toilet was Mr. Oh yeah, I don't know, the fuck boom. But was it just one guy, or was it the creation of like Epstein and Associates? You know what I mean? Trying to normalize stuff for kids. You want to talk about a tinfoil hat? Yo, where are the people considering that? Like, the most popular thing online right now is one guy with his head coming out of a toilet, and the other guys are cameramen that film everything. Is that not that clear and obvious? Like, am I underthinking it? Because you can't overthink that. It's like like the theme is right there. Cameras, guys with cameras for heads, and the other team is a head coming out of a toilet. It is like pervert delight. I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, that's a funny idea, Jam. There are 3 teams. I have a cameraman, then there are toilets, and then there are astro toilets. Yeah, I love it. You can literally throw anything into that series, or whatever you want to call it, universe, the Skibbity verse. You could throw anything. You could be like, yo, this is a toaster in the shape of a giraffe, and people be like, oh, giraffe toaster, yes. It's like, I don't know if it's so creative or if it's the least creative. It's somewhere on the spectrum that it's unjudgeable. I told you that. I think that's the uniqueness of it. It's like so unique, you're like, I don't know if this is stupid or like, no, I'm pretty sure it's stupid. Anyways, but that's okay, because I'm old. Remember that, Jay. I'm like, I'm not supposed to enjoy this stuff. I'm supposed to go, back in my day, we had gremlins that came out the toilet and scared us. Not a guy's head. Back in my day, we didn't have cameramen I mean, that's a good fear to impart in children. You know, the cameramen are watching you. That's a good life lesson. I can't say that. But let's get back to Canada. I think I read that before. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. But Canada, I wonder if Mr. Trudeau, like, that would have been the most obvious in all these tiff taffs. You know, you got to appreciate all the people who are like, go America, we're Christians. And the first thing their president does, because he ain't my president, I'm calling back that classic joint, that gem, not my president. That's what I'm gonna do. Not my president. Lock her up. Anyways, he starts a fight with everybody who's friends with us. And I'm just so shocked that Justin Trudeau did not win the tariff war, which will respark in 30 days, because I think they did a 30-day. Let's do a 30-day break. Too much stuff is going on. In 30 days, how does Justin Trudeau not come out of the gate and just say, Mr. Trump, you're not allowed in Canada because you're a felon. We got certain laws restricting felon access to Canada, my friend. I have 0 likes. I'm used to that. Here, 1 like. Oh, thank you, JM. I appreciate that. You can make a video reacting to things on Discord. Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's cool. What were the other things in the news? Oh, I wanted to bring up that Australia moved forward with passing legislation to make never convicted, chill guy. There you go. Never convicted. You were never convicted? Or Trump? Because Trump was convicted. Trump was convicted 34 times. Thank you for the like. Thank you for the like. Thank you for the like. But Australia made it illegal, jail time, if you do the Elon Musk hail the Nerd Reich salute. I don't know what you want to call it. It was 100% the Burger Reich salute. And now Slovakia, Austria, Germany, and Australia, you can face jail time for doing that, which I'm okay with, folks. That's not free speech. It represents a whole mess of history that is extremely anti-free speech and hateful, and you know, all this mess. But I'm totally for that, and I thought that was fascinating that if Elon Musk was in one of those other countries, I don't know if South Africa, where he's from, because you know he's not American, what their punishment are for doing racist things, but he would have been looking at jail time. But again, you know, rich people don't go to jail. Chuck down Jimmy, sing this song, dude. What up, Rob? Hope you're doing well. Trump wasn't convicted. No sense. No, he was convicted. He just didn't get a sentence. Kangaroo court. It was 100%. Bro, on the spectrum, Musk was throwing his heart out to the crowd. No. But I know a lot of people on the spectrum. That's not like an odd tick. He 100% was not throwing his heart out to the crowd. And if you read Chuck Down Jimmy, if you follow me on Blue Sky, there's a very fascinating thread that's on Facebook. I'm just not on Facebook. By this guy named Philip Lowe, who's known Elon for like 14 years, is now disassociated from him and is asking other people. And he outlines very specifically not only why it was a Yahtzee salute, it 100% was. Like, there's no other way to cut that. That's not a... And the Daily Show did a great breakdown on like other times Musk has done My Heart Goes Out to You. He actually made a little heart. So like this was a very much a Yahtzee salute. But what this Philip Lowe guy dives into is why he did it at that moment. And it's this whole political mess of like, he thought, you know, Steve Bannon was attacking him pretty hard. I think Steve Bannon wanted him out of there, and that was kind of his dog fire alarm. It's not even a dog whistle. His air raid siren, as Hassan called it, to that Steve Bannon white supremacist base. So it very much was. I mean, and as soon as we start downplaying stuff as obvious as that, we're really going into like, you know, even weirder, surrealist, dystopian nightmare. Like, we can't like, that's what he wants you to do, is like play it down like, oh, he's on the spectrum, his heart was going out to me. Like, just don't buy into that shit. I know that's what he's going to keep telling you, but there's a lot of different ways to say my heart goes out to you, and that's not one of them. It's not up for debate, you know. Like, the debate is where it's like someone being like, you know, Jim Crow laws weren't actually racist. You know, the separate but equal, it wasn't actually racist because it was the equal, they were equal. And it's like, you can't even fucking tread that territory. Like, that's racism. You know, like, once you start engaging in like, well, I guess because it was equal, well, then you can't, because they both gave everybody equal stuff. It's like, you can't engage in that. You cannot engage in that. Like, we have to fucking understand, people. Like, sometimes it's just what it is. And it might, and the reason I think a lot of people defend it is because maybe personally they need to look inside. Like, they don't want to associate with themselves with someone who's defended Musk before, and now they have to defend a Yahtzee salute or whatever it is. But like, this isn't one of those things. And I'm sure a long time ago, lost to history because schools ain't teaching it. People were debating the separate but equal. And, well, if we give them the same quality water fountain, then why is it racist? And it's like, that was the shit that was impeding progress. That was the stuff where it was like, if you keep debating this shit, we're never going to get there. Because that's what the racists want. They want you to, like, debate, well, because, at that point you say, well, then what would have made it a Yahtzee salute? Did he have to say, Burger Reich after? Did he have to say the Nerd Reich? Did he have to say Dark MAGA? Guys, this is one of those things where you got to take the L and understand that it is what it is. He did it. And this isn't like, oh, the first I'm hearing of it. If you're on Twitter, he replatformed, amplified, and boosted many white supremacists. Like, this is his MO. This isn't like a one-off. This isn't a tick. Please don't write it off as autistic, because that is, I won't allow my autistic family community to ever fucking get, used as a shield like that, because that is a coward, phony-ass way out. But it just, like, at that point, whoever's trying to defend it, you need to look inside you and figure out why. You can look at something so clearly as that. You line it up with any of the stuff from the timed footage in history, and it's the exact same thing. Why you deny what it is. That's on you. So anyways. But yeah, that he should be going to jail for that. I mean, if he was in Australia, weird that Austria and Australia both have those laws. Germany, Slovakia. If he was in any of those countries, he'd be going to jail. What was the other thing? And that's the other thing, like, you could tell how far away from certain parts of history we are, because there's a lot of people's grandparents, or maybe if you're young enough, your great-grandparents, that would have knocked him out. These are the times where you see, like, old people being like, do you understand what the fuck we did for you to get, like, we paid too many. I love how the right and conservatives like to pretend like they honor vets or veterans or the army or anything like that, when you can do what Elon Musk did, not only defend it, but understand that, like, our whole country, our whole world went to war over that shit. Man, that got me sidetracked, because I don't like to, it's just not a debate. But Chuck Down Jimmy, I like that song, Doodah, Doodah. I don't even know what that song is, but as soon as I read your name. What was the other thing? Oh, there was a Bill Burr and Billy Corgan, which I hate. Billy Corgan, lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins. He's a punk. He was hooking up with Courtney Hole. I almost called her Kardashian. Courtney Love, not Hole. Courtney Love from the band Hole. She should be named Courtney Hole. While Kurt was with her. There's rumors floating all around of that. That Billy Corgan was still being the mistress behind Kurt Cobain's back, which, what a scumbag, what a loser. He always came off as like a kind of a loser and a D. But Howie Mandel has a podcast, which I'll never watch. I couldn't even watch the clips that I linked down below in the article, because Howie Mandel is just, Jesus. He's exactly what Bill Burr called him, Hollywood's whore. And I guess Billy Corgan and Howie Mandel surprised Bill Burr when it was Bill Burr's turn on Howie's podcast. Bill, have discernment. Don't go on every podcast, especially someone who you think is Hollywood's whore. That could have saved you right there. You don't need it. You're big enough. You're good. You yourself are good enough, Bill. But apparently there was some story, which I even hesitate to repeat, but that Billy Corgan's dad was a musician and traveled around, and that Bill Burr could have been his illegitimate son, which it all just sounds stupid. Bill Burr, Canton, Mass's own, Masshole. And Bill, I guess, didn't like that story being told, but even more, didn't like that Howie Mandel surprised him with Billy Corgan on the podcast episode to have him in, and just kind of laid into both of them. Again, I haven't seen it because I refuse to even fucking give Howie Mandel a view. But when people show you who they are, I guess this kind of relates to the Elon Musk thing, because this isn't the first time. that he's had these white supremacist tendencies. I mean, he does come from apartheid South Africa, folks. But when people show you who they are, like Howie Mandel, believe them, you know? Howie Mandel's a scumbag. And he did everything for clicks. And I mean, there's such a thing. Like, I understand in the day and age of the Paul brothers and, you know, needing to get clicks at all costs so you can have more money than anybody else and, I don't know, make a video about how much money you have. There is still ethics, morality, character. Like, I would just wish people valued that. Has the internet totally eroded that? Apparently not, because Cat Williams, I wish we could just get another Cat Williams. I know he was on Theo Von, but I refuse to watch Theo Von either. Joe Rogan's protege. I don't think he's exactly that, but you know what I mean. They're towing that same line. Why did Howie do that? He totally ambushed him. It was, oh, did you see it? I don't know. What Howie said, and apparently Bill Burr ain't talking to him, which is good, because the way the article ended, Howie was like, call me, guys, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. But it's like, what were you thinking, you know? Like, if this is a story that's never been shared, and they were both very clear about that, like, they've never shared that. It's not like gossip in the magazines, on the internet. It's just one of those things where it's like, that's a weird fucking thing to be, like, trying to capitalize on. And Howie must have thought, like, oh, this is genius. Let's be the new Jerry Springer. Let's be Geraldo Rivera. You are not the father. Saw a clip on TikTok. Very gross. Oh, really? Theo is freaking hilarious. Listen, Theo has his moments. I'll give you that. Theo is not, he's not Joe Rogan caliber douche. But I just think some of these guys who have so much power in podcasting, I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys, you have Google too, right? Or not Google, but like DuckDuckGo. You have some kind of internet browser where you can, like, you know, just fact check shit. But these guys, that platform, like, I don't know if Theo's had on any of these, like, white supremacists. I know Joe for a fact is on. Joe's, like, whole lineup of guests now is, like, billionaires who are trying to tell you, like, hey, banking regulations are bad. You're not old enough to remember 2008, right? Yeah, but if they regulate banks and, like, protect consumers, like, man, nobody's going to have a job anymore. And that's, like, Joe Rogan's whole podcast now. If he's not having, like, I don't know, Nick Fuentes or whatever white supremacist on he's having. And I feel like Theo kind of toes that line too. Like when they platform Ben Shapiro and then hear him out like he's a serious boy, you know, because most of his shit is like so easily debunkable just by, I don't know, common sense that like you just gotta, if you guys don't remember the movie Dick Tracy, there was a dude named Mumble. No, Mumbles was Madonna. What was the dude's name? He was played by the famous actor that played Tootsie. Dustin Hoffman, and I think he's a dick too. That's what I've heard. But Dustin Hoffman's character would mumble and like just talk like and Dick Tracy, what's up, Curtis? And Dick Tracy in the interview room had a recording device hidden. So the whole interview, go watch Dick Tracy. I thought this was very clever when I was young and seen it. Dick Tracy recorded it, and then what he did is he played it back and slowed it down for Mumbles or whatever the guy's name. Oh, Breathless Mahoney was Madonna's character. Mumbles was Dustin Hoffman's character in Dick Tracy. And in Dick Tracy would slow the thing down, and Mumbles, all of a sudden, his words would make sense. And I feel like that's the same thing. Oh, Curtis, you threw me off, man. What's up? Almost ready to share an orca drawing. Oh, yes. Awesome. So I feel like that's the same thing with Ben Shapiro, you know? Like, if Ben Shapiro didn't talk so fast and try to interject these fancy words or, like, a statistic that is totally taken out of context, you'd understand he's just full of it. And if you don't believe me, Some More News has done quite a few episodes, one or two episodes, too many episodes on why Ben Shapiro isn't a very smart boy. But, I can't wait to see the orca drawing. Put in the Discord. Oh, and join the Discord too, down below. It's good at creating correlation bias. Oh yeah, 100%. Join the Discord. The link should be working. My apologies to Sinner the other day. I had a link in there that was bad. I think these Discord links go bad in a certain amount of time. So yeah, I don't know why Howie did it. I'm sure I'll see it on TikTok, but you know, scumbag move by people who are just thinking about. That's the weird. So this is the weird thing to me with a lot of these people. It's like they don't need the money, you know? I think it's the greed, the self-importance, the wanting the spotlight constantly. It's like a little bit of narcissism that keeps driving them to do stuff that, you know, just I think people with a little bit of character, no matter how big you get, what spotlight you're in, if you have that character, that solid that solid building block of humanity called character, if you have some kind of character, then you know you're like, that's one we stay away from, you know, and you find something else funny. But I don't know. I've never liked Howie Mandel. Always thought he was kind of a fucking hack. And when Bill Burr called him a Hollywood's whore, I went, oh, that's a great word for it. Yeah, I totally see that, because he'll do anything and everything. He is the epitome of fucking dance, monkey. Entertain us. Entertain us. And he'll do it for the money. It's like Pauly Shore. Pauly Shore, absolutely zero talent. He's not a nice fucking dude. I met him once, and he was just kind of a dick. But he'll do anything to have people clap for him, you know? That's all they need to hear. I don't know. Maybe it's like a parental thing, you know? Maybe their parents. None of these people, you know, Elon Musk's parents didn't pay attention to him. His parents probably love him now, but his dad was too busy banging his stepsister. And you know that's got to be messed up. He's not even entertaining. He's just rude and sarcastic. Yeah, 100%. He just like epitomized like what was wrong. If we're talking about Pauly Shore, he just epitomized what was wrong with like certain California people in the 90s. Like he like distilled all the qualities of Californians that nobody liked and was like, that's got to be a lovable character. You still gotta wonder if his mom wasn't his mom, but she owned the Comedy Connection or Comedy Club, or I forget what the comedy store. I forget what the comedy club's called, but if his mom wasn't his mom, I don't think he'd have any of those Andy Dick style movies. Trying to think, what else did I have down in the news? What else? There was something else. My good God, folks. There was something else in the news that I wanted to share with you, and I know it's linked down below. But I can't remember now. And there's so much going on. There really is. I'm trying to pick like lighter stuff that you can have fun with. Stuff that might inform you, like in case you didn't know, if you were like, hey, I want to visit Canada and you got a criminal record. Ooh, not so fast. You get stopped at that border pretty quick. Maybe if you don't tell them, you just say, yeah, I'm just going in, but your ID might scan. It depends on the level of offense. But always trying to teach you something. And I truly wonder if that law still goes for felon presidents or not. I know everybody says he wasn't convicted, but he just didn't get a sentence. He was convicted 34 times. He was convicted. Once you're convicted, then you go to sentencing. He didn't get a sentence. They commuted his sentence. They said, just don't do it again. He said, I promise, just like all the other crimes I've done multiple times. But again, we live in the land of people who believe the guy who's good at a deal has bankrupted every freaking company he's ever owned. And they believe that's a smart businessman. Oh, do you know different orcopods have their own dialects and pronunciations? That is true, and they have their own hunting styles, and they'll pass those down through their own generations and families. It's fascinating. I'm telling you, orcas and crows, if you're into animals, those are two that you need to understand, because these are animals that are so smart, it's kind of unreal. They call crows the primates with wings, because crows have been known to use tools to access food. And crows, just like orcas, will teach. If you're mean to a crow, for generations, they will teach their kids. If they see your face, they can recognize faces, they will teach their kids you were mean. Or that's also why, like, people who don't want crows on their property, they sell fake dead hanging crows, and you can hang them from trees or stuff, and the crows will stay away if they see a dead crow. But they're also smart enough to sniff it out too, and if they figure out it's fake, they know you're a poser, And crows remember faces, 100%. Ravens too, yeah. I've never seen a raven in the wilds. I would like to. I know that they're bigger. I've seen them on YouTube. And I know they are in the Pacific Northwest. I would love to go there. I think they're in England. I'm not sure where else. But the Pacific Northwest has all three of the animals that I absolutely admire: orcas, wolves, ravens, and crows. So, man, they're fascinating. You've seen a couple? Oh, I would do anything. I know they're much bigger. I love crows, and crows are shockingly large. Not when you see them next to a seagull. Seagulls are surprisingly huge and unnervingly brazen. I've always thought that America should not have the bald eagle. We are not regal enough to have the bald eagle as our country's emblem. I think it should be the seagull, because America totally is a dumpster diver of a nation. You know, they'll steal stuff right out of your hand on the beach. They'll eat out the trash. They'll just come at you, bro. And I think America should take the eagle off of everything and put the seagull on it. Mine. That's the other thing, you know, the seagull saying, mine, 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 mine. That's very American. Orcas are rude. CJ. Oh, CJ. See, we got a Pacific Northwester in the house. So I believe orcas are rude. Listen, I believe it, but it doesn't make me love them any less. And the thing is there are some cool ass videos of people up in the Pacific Northwest that have filmed orcas like coming real close to the beach, and they're like dogs right at the water, and you're wondering like, how did they even get that close? And they are inquisitive. I would believe they're rude because, you know, when you're that big, who's gonna stop you? You know, like, I'm guessing any action that they make probably comes across as a little bit bullying. But man, they are majestic, brilliant, brilliant creatures. All right, I gotta wrap up because I gotta go finish doing some errands. But I wanted to stop by. I know I was sick, or I'm still sick. Family's been sick. We're all finally starting to be on the mends, finally. But so I missed yesterday. But I'm just, man, it's tough to get up. You need ibuprofen to not be dizzy walking around. So yesterday, my apologies for not being here. I'm gonna try to live stream some Fortnite this weekend. So if you're around, I really want to set up a camera so I could do the camera stream like a real gamer. But please hit subscribe, hit the notification bell after. I might try to, because I did miss 2 days this week, which is the first time in almost a year. Almost a year. I only taken Christmas off. I think Christmas and New Year's are the only days I took off since last March. So I might try to do a live stream this weekend, but again, with kids still sick and I'm on the mend, who knows? But I'll maybe just try to stream some Fortnite. Trying to make some other content too. So just make sure you after you hit subscribe, you hit that notification bell. Oh man, I feel like I'm forgetting something. There was something that I think was in the description I really wanted to talk about, and I just can't remember right now. Again, my brain's still very fuzzy. Fuzzy? And that says it all. Fuzzy. My brain's still very fuzzy, not Fozzie Bear. Hit like and subscribe, peeps. Thank you, CJ. I appreciate you guys. I'm out of here for right now, but once you hit that notification bell, you'll be notified every time I go live, every time I come on here, so you can join me. And if you join the Discord, link down below, it will ping you and let you know when I'm live or if I drop a new video. Trying to make some more videos. I love, JM was in here earlier and said react to Skibbity Toilet, so maybe I'll try to do that, because that is funny as hell. And that whole concept of a guy with his head coming out of a toilet and the other team being guys with cameras on their head, I think that was created by a pervert. And maybe not, but that's just a weird premise to start with, right? Anyways, that's all. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Much love, respect. Peace.